building in Copperdale, and that might be the first time I'm doing a build video in Copperdale. I don't normally build here. I do love the world. I often forget about it, especially sometimes the lighting is a little bit weird and I have to go into MCCC a lot to kind of adjust it. So I'd adjust this a lot too. I'm pretty sure I had to go to like partly cloudy and then cloudy and like over and over again to find what worked best for it. It's still a little bit cold, the lighting, but I think that it kind of works for what I'm building, which is a haunted house, but it's kind of like those horror movies where a family moves into a house and they don't really know what they're going to get into until like scary things start happening at night. That was kind of the vibe I was going for when I was building this. And I definitely had a reference picture for this, so I'll make sure I'll pull that up now too, so you could kind of compare the two. Okay, I got so excited when I saw the reference picture again because I think it's really pretty. And I feel like it looks very similar to what I end up building. And I realize now that I did want to try and do the detail on that roof peak in like the top left above the bay window. I didn't end up doing that. And I see a lot of people always do those really cute, like, roof peak details, and I'm always jealous because I don't know how they do it, and I also don't have the patience to do it, and this was going to be my time where I figured it out and I did it, but I guess I forgot because I was, like, really caught up on trying to figure out like, the colors I was using for this because originally I just was doing all white, but it felt very, like, washed out. Like, I couldn't really I felt like I couldn't really see a lot of the details because it was all just a very bright color. I end up going back later and kind of changing some things around. Like, I start using some more, like, toned down, like, I guess, like, undersaturated, um, brown for the, like, the what are they called? Oh, I've taken too long now. They're the window, the store the shutters. Yeah. I use it for the shutters. I also struggled a lot, finding like, placement for this chimney. I couldn't figure it out, and I kept turning the camera, and then I was so aware that I was turning the camera so much, and I was nervous that it was gonna be nauseating. I did out a few turns, but I think it's slowed down just enough that maybe it's not a problem. I do some terrain, but just a little bit. I wanted it to be, like, slightly raised on a hill, because that's kind of, like, how I see a lot of houses just, like, in real life. I feel like a lot of them are just raised up on a slight slope, and that's kind of what I wanted to go for with this one. And I decided to go for yellow accents on the outside with like these flowers that I'm placing around. I placed them around the entire like perimeter of the house. Um Paired with some of those rose bushes, which are either very pale pink or they're just white. I'm not sure. My reshade definitely it like tones down some colors a lot, so it's hard to tell. I have a feeling it was pale pink, but yeah. I wasn't completely sold on the use of this yellow, but I really loved those flowers and it only comes in that one single swatch. And I don't remember which pack it's from. It might be Horse Ranch, and I just really loved those specific flower bunch. And I wish we had more colors of it, but I just kind of accepted and I was like, yellow's gonna be my accent for the exterior of the house. And I end up bringing in like pumpkins and stuff. I wanted to be decorated for Halloween. I was trying to make it as scary as possible. And I didn't really do that very well. I think that I'm afraid of things easily, so, what I think is scary probably isn't scary for majority of people. Like, I'm kinda creeped out by this house, but I'm also creeped out by mirrors in bedrooms, so that doesn't really say much. But yeah, see, I was going to use this pale yellow shutter for the accents, but it was just like it didn't stand out enough. and because of how, like, cool toned the lighting was, it was really just losing a lot of warmth, which is okay. I feel like it adds to the aesthetic of it and, like, makes it a little bit more scary. Um, but it wasn't working for me. Like, this feels very, like, toned down Twilight filter. Yeah, and I'm adding some more yellow accents using these little brambles from the Vampires pack. That's normally what I end up adding to builds like this because I don't really know what to do, and I don't wanna add ivy to it because I feel like the ivy will take away from it a little bit. I might add a couple of pieces of ivy. Yeah, I have one on the side, but I didn't go overboard with it. And these are some of my favorite rocks that have been added to the game recently. Those are from Horse Ranch, and I line them up to kind of be like little walking path. So I guess you enter the lot from the left side. You walk up to the doorway. I was struggling to find terrain paint that works, which is the usual. It's hard to find terrain paint that kind of blends in and isn't too bright. I tone it down with some dirt though, and I was going to try and match the dirt that was in the world, like that very light dirt in the background, but the light dirts that we have don't match that, which is sad. I wish that we had terrain paints that actually matched the, like, paint that was used in the world, or, like, we had tools that made it easier to kind of replicate that, because it just doesn't work sometimes, and I just decided to do my best and just accept it for looking a little bit different than what I wanted. Um, yeah, I put some, like, big fall leaf piles out, which maybe doesn't make a lot of sense because there's not gonna be, like, a lot of trees that are, like, that have changed color for the fall. I think this is still set in early fall, so the trees are just, like, a little yellowish green, and it's, like, barely visible. Um, this is, like, the early Animal Crossing trees are just turning. I put a swing set for the idea that it scared me. Because one of my biggest fears in horror movies are children, which it makes sense because horror movies make children so scary, and like ghost children and like children who talk to other ghost children. And it freaks me out. So I added a swing set, like, because I was scared by it. That's normally how it goes. But yeah, here I'm like changing some things. I actually did this like halfway through the interior, but I decided to try and move it to that section of it. So when I'm doing this, you can kind of see that the shutters are yellow and not brown in this because it took me a while to go back and change it. I think was like, I took a break and then I came back and I was like, yeah, I need to change some things around or I'm not going to like this. And I struggled with this floor plan a lot. So I'm trying to figure out where the bathroom's going to go. And that would have been a fine spot. The stuff fit in the bathroom, but the kitchen wasn't working and I couldn't like put enough counter space in it. So I had to like move some things around, which is fine. And for the interior of this, it is not very detailed because I decided to go for like a freshly moved in family. Like boxes are everywhere. They haven't really decorated yet. They probably don't have all of their permanent furniture that they're going to have in the house. So they probably just like had whatever from their last place they were living. And now they're kind of like going to, like, grow into this house, and it is a pretty small house too, but I do end up fitting 4 bedrooms? Yeah, 4 bedrooms, 1 is, like, a nursery for a toddler, and I did forget the toilet for the toddler. So if you download it, you might need to add one, because I'll probably forget again. That's something that's very hard to remember. I did add a trash can into it because wait, did I? Did I delete the trash can out of the kitchen? I might have. So I might be lying right now. We'll have to see when I go back to the kitchen. But yeah, I kind of missed doing very light interiors like this one. Lately, I've been doing very like dark interiors with a lot of wood. And I always go back and forth between this sort of interior and that one, and then I always think I'm doing it for too long, and then I switch to this sort of interior, and then I'm like, "I'm doing this for too long," and That's just what ends up happening when I get into, like, specific building moods, and then I build a bunch at, like, one time, and then it changes, but I love that floral wallpaper. I think that that's, like, my favorite part of this upstairs. I don't really like the striped wallpaper that I picked out, but in my head, I was just like, they moved in here, maybe they don't like that wallpaper in that bedroom either. And for the kitchen, I was definitely going for, like, a brighter wall than I'm used to. I don't do a lot of vibrant colors in my builds, but I used this one from Cats and Dogs, I think, and it has, like, some red and blue and yellow in it, and I was kind of going for, like, almost a retro type kitchen that's maybe a little bit outdated. That's what I was thinking of when I was going with it. Like, maybe this is like this takes place in like the 70s or 80s or something is what I kind of was thinking while I was picking out the colors for the kitchen. None of the, like, rest of the house has many colors. It's all just, like, white or yellow, which I think worked really well anyway. This little hallway, very tiny, but that's probably one of my favorite areas of the house. I don't know, I really like that wallpaper that I use that has like the very high up wood with just like a sliver of yellow above. I really liked that. I've never used that one before. I think that might be Cats and Dogs too, but I could be wrong because I don't really use that, so it's hard for me to remember. But yeah, I really enjoy this little entryway. And I enjoy it because I love that little decorative thing I placed. It felt haunted to me. And so I was like, "Wow, I love this area." So that's one of my new favorite items in the game. And this is where I started to decide that I wanted it to be that they're kinda just moving in because I had seen the box. I was like, "Oh, I could place this everywhere, and that'll make it easy to decorate." And it was, so I started pulling out different sorts of things that I think would be out in, like, a initial move, like, there's plates in the dining room table and stuff that they still haven't put away, and in the kitchen, they have, like, stacks of books and, like, notepads and stuff, and, like, they're trying to organize and, like, get everything together. There's, like, a children's pop-up book in the kitchen, so maybe, like, the kid who moved in was, like, helping put stuff away, and then they were, like, reading their books at the same time. And I use that, like, I think it's a new frame where you could put, like, pictures of your Sims in, and for I could use it for the first time because I was like, "Maybe they haven't put the pictures in there yet." And I don't know why they would hang the frame before putting the pictures in. Maybe they decided that they were gonna move in and then be like, "Oh, we'll just, like, save this for memories we make in this new house." So they have it up and they're just gonna build it up, and they didn't wanna, like, leave it out in case the glass breaks on the frame or something. But yeah, the I really like the living room too. I love the book nook, bookcases, which I'm glad that I got it because I wasn't gonna get the kit at first, but I feel like it has made it easier to decorate a lot of houses now because the bookcases fit, like, perfectly against the wall and stuff. And this video is a lot shorter than my most recent videos have been, and that scared me at first because I'm like, "I'm gonna ramble on, and then I'm not going to be able to say everything that I wanna say about the build in that time, and then I'm gonna run over and then, like, abruptly have to end." But I'm paying attention now. But yeah, for the parents' bedroom, I decided to just have some like clothes around, like they're putting away their clothes. That's kind of the stage they are at with unpacking. So, like every sim in this house is kind of at a different stage for unpacking. I think the parents prioritize getting the like nursery completely unpacked and stuff, and then they're just kind of working on putting their clothes away. They don't have a lot of furniture in their bedroom. I wanted another dresser, but there wasn't a lot of space in there, and I put a mirror facing the bed, which if you have seen any of my other videos, I talk about how I'm afraid of mirrors facing the bed, and I felt like I had to do it for this, even though I was a little scared while I was doing it. Okay, and so this is like the teenager's bedroom, and they just haven't unpacked anything really. So there's just boxes everywhere. I sized up one of those clutter boxes from I think everyday clutter, and I thought it looked really nice sized up. So yeah, they're barely packed. They're probably not going to unpack for a while. That was the vibe I was going for with this one. I like the stained glass window in here, but this is probably my least favorite room, which might be why I just put all the boxes in there because I didn't like the wallpaper at all. And I could have changed it, but I was just committing to it. And I kind of changed the lighting in there too. It's very dark in that room, but I felt like I wanted that moon salt lamp to kind of give off a glow of another color. And then this is the other bedroom, which I have it like more so half unpacked, so there isn't as much stuff around. I do put a haunted doll in this room, not that one, but another doll that's haunted. And so that's kind of like my thought is that this is the like child who starts realizing that there's like stuff going on in the house because their doll is moving. They have a scary closet too. There's like some stuff just like in here, probably just left over from like the last owners of the house. It's the only closet in the entire house. I don't know why I put a closet there. I think I wanted a hallway, and so it just made sense to kind of like block it off with something. I could have put the door to the closet in the hallway actually. It would have made more sense than having like the kids' room have the scary closet. I also added some lot challenges and traits. So I think I did haunted, cursed. I did breezy, like homely, I think, and great lighting. I think that's what I did. But yeah, that's the whole video. I'll have a video out on Monday that is a continuation of my Glimmerbrook save. So yeah, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.